In this next video, we come to exercise 93 through 100, in which we want to find the second derivative of the given function. The second derivative is just the derivative of the first derivative. So in problem 93, we start with x to the fourth plus 2x cubed minus 3x squared minus x. Then the first derivative will be 4x to the third plus 6x squared, then minus 6x and minus 1. The second derivative would be 12x squared plus 12x minus 6, and that's the second derivative. For problem 94, which is also a simple polynomial, the first derivative will be 6 times 8, which is 48x to the fifth, then minus 50x to the fourth, plus 15x squared. The second derivative would be 5 times 48, which is 240, x to the fourth. 4 times negative 50, which is minus 200, x to the third. Then plus 30x. In problem 95, the first derivative would be 3 halves times 4, which is 6x to the 1 half. The second derivative would then be 3x to the negative 1 half. For number 96, we have x plus 32x to the negative second. The first derivative would then be 1 plus negative 2 times 32, which would be negative 64x to the negative third. The second derivative then would be negative 192x to the negative fourth. For number 97, we now have a quotient which can't be simplified, so we'll need to use the quotient rule for the first derivative, and so that would be low d high minus high d low over low squared, and that then simplifies to x minus 1 minus x, which would just be negative 1 over x minus 1 quantity squared. That's the first derivative. The second derivative in this case would be low d high, which would be 0, minus high d low. For the derivative of the denominator, we're going to have to square that out. So we'll have x squared minus 2x plus 2. That would be x minus 1 squared. And the derivative of that, would simply be 2x minus 2. And so the derivative of x minus 1 quantity squared is 2x minus 2. And all over x minus 1 squared. Now the first term, x minus 1 squared times 0, zero's out. Then negative 1 is positive 1, so we're simply left with 2x minus 2, which factors to be 2 times x minus 1. However, in the second derivative in the denominator, the previous step, I didn't square that denominator. And so that should actually be x minus 1 to the fourth power. And so we have 2 quantity x minus 1 over x minus 1 to the fourth power. And now we can cancel one of those, and we end up with 2 over x minus 1 to the third power. For problem 98, I'm going to divide through first. And so I'll rewrite the original function as x plus 2, then minus x to the negative 1. The first derivative then would be 1, and the derivative of 2 is 0. Bring down the negative 1 and we'll get plus x to the negative second. The second derivative then, because the derivative of 1 again is 0, will give me negative 2x to the negative third. And that's it for 98. For 99, we have x times sine x, so it's a product. First derivative will be 1 d2, which is x cosine x, plus 2, which is sine x d1, which is 1. So the first derivative would be x cosine x plus sine x. The second derivative also has a product, x cosine x, so it's 1 d2 plus 2 d1, and then the derivative of sine is cosine. And simplifying, that leads to 2 cosine x minus x sine x. For problem 100, we have just secant of x, and the derivative of secant x is secant x tan x. For the second derivative, we have a product. It's 1 d2. Since the derivative of tangent is secant squared, we have secant x secant square x plus 2 d1, for a total of secant cube x plus secant x times tan square of x.